Welcome to the Sheffield United Way. My name is Hal. Let's talk about a Spurs duo. We're going to start with Ashley Phillips. He's 19. He'll be 20 on the 26th of June if he's not careful. I'm going to get deep into a few of the stats and some of the analytics and percentiles a little bit later on. But let's talk about the basics. Okay, so an enormous 6'4", a right-footed centre-back. He was involved in 3,082 minutes that he played on loan from Tottenham Hotspur at Stoke City last season. I've had the chance, the pleasure even, of speaking to Stoke City fans about this player, Ashley Phillips, and the reviews, they have been muy bueno, as 𝗍𝗿𝗶𝗴𝗍 would probably say. Now, if we look at the stats, they are not sort of leap off the page incredible, but he's still young. Reminds me a little bit of when we got 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 athletic into a real battering ram of a centre-back, very strong now, that could still be the case. That could all be still to come for Ashley, because he is strong, but I think he could be an absolute colossus. I feel he will only get better, and he's already very good. But as he gets more championship experience, I do feel at the level, and it's a level he's played at before, he'll only improve. He's had a bit of a taste already, 61 games at second tier level. But is he anything more than a backup option? Well, I think he is. That could depend on the formation we play. He doesn't commit many fouls, which I think is a really huge plus. He is rarely dribbled past while also not having to make many tackles. I believe that's probably due to his positional sense, another big plus for me. Stoke fans I spoke to told me how often he's in the right place at the right time. I always used to say that about Paul McGrath. So not really having to rely on his speed, and he does have that. He has a good reading of the game, an impressive player on the ground, which surprised me when I looked at those stats because it was a poor Stoke side. Even Stoke fans have told me that last season. And to stand out in a passing sense, in a team that wasn't good at passing, that's pretty impressive. But not much with the long ball. In fact, his long ball passing was fairly dreadful stat-wise, which is something to build on. Aerially, he is not the best stat-wise again, although he certainly looks like he would be. Some of the clips I saw, he did look fairly imposing and won a few in the air, but over the piece. And when you look at the entire season, the stats don't usually lie, but they said he wasn't as good in the air as perhaps he should be. He'll become, I think, very good aerially. He'll become a dominant defender in that area. I have kind of conflicting reports. One Stoke fan called him a ball-playing defender. Another said to me he's more of a stopper, which is fine. We had that last season. We had Harry Souttar as more of the stopper, and you had Anel as more of, I wouldn't say necessarily a ball-playing defender. He was, that first time I saw Anel, I think it was Blackburn at home, and he was marauding forward. It was like, is this 𝗲𝗲𝗲𝗶𝗵? But he's doing less and less of that as his time with United has gone on. But if we look at the stats, one thing that is big in these, it has a really high tackle success rate, but he doesn't make many tackles. Does that make sense? So it's in percentiles. So compared to other championship centre-backs, he ranked in the 99th percentile for being dribbled past. Basically means he's exceptionally good at not being dribbled past. That's what you want for a defender. For the long ball accuracy, he ranks in the 3rd percentile. Means his long balls don't really hit the target that often. As I mentioned earlier, not a strong suit. We can live with that. With percentiles, as we've spoken about before, below 30 means he's below average. 31 to 60, average. 61 to 80, good. 81 to 100, he's elite, and we should stop everything we're doing and sign him now. Now, he was in the 58th percentile for dispossessed per 90, just the 19th percentile for progressive carries, and only the 3rd for progressive passes. His passing accuracy was in the 55th percentile, so middle of the road. But I was told he is quite pacey when he needs to be. Now, that's to be seen, of course, but we know he's strong, but he can get stronger. He needs to improve on defending on the ground. His passing, though, we said that was quite good, but he needs to improve slightly on winning aerial duels. There is potential here for Phillips to be a really good centre-back. Already, I think, imposing, but that can only improve. Seems like he accelerates well from the clips I watched of him. So very good on the floor, which is why I think he's quite well-rounded. Biggest issue is his aerial win rate. I don't know why that is so low, but it is. Now, I think if we could partner him with a Souttar type, you've got a very good partnership. And perhaps the best barometer, as I spoke about earlier, the Stoke fans love him. So here's some of the quotes. Stoke fan Haley said, "A future England star, in my opinion." I wasn't expecting that when I began my quest for, indeed, the quenching of my thirst for Ashley Phillips knowledge. Dan Hyde stated, "For Stoke, he was brilliant. Scott Price described him as the best loan signing of the season." That is a season in which they had Tom Cannon on loan. So, what do you think? Excited? Apprehensive? Completely nonplussed? Ashley Phillips in the books. Tick. I've done my research. Alfie Devine. In many cases, slightly harder to do research here. 20 years old with his birthday in August, born in Warrington, 5'10", just on the cusp of the wrong side of the great height for a man's scale. He's been with Liverpool in the academy, Wigan. He's another who had loan spells away from Tottenham, his parent club, first with 𝗬𝗿𝗶𝗹𝗹 at Port Vale, where he failed to shine as much as United's captain, but he did play 26 times and scored 3 goals for the Valiants. And most recently, he was in Belgium on loan with 𝗬𝗲𝗲𝗹, 32 appearances, 6 goals. But in between those 2 loan spells, he was at Plymouth Argyle, playing 15 times in the Championship. And Argyle fans, less than complimentary about the attacking midfielder. 𝗤𝗿𝗿𝗄𝗃𝗍, great name, saying technically looked okay, but wasn't there physically, so struggled. Evan said, simply not a championship footballer. Owen said, played him in the wrong position for every game bar his last for Plymouth, which was his best, and his best being an attacking midfield. An okay player at best for us, not a promotion-winning midfielder by any means. Still young, so could develop, I guess. James said, bang, bang average. Callum, the Plymouth fan, said, if that's the sort of player you're signing, you ain't even going to be in the playoffs. He's very weak. Well, I asked for Plymouth fans' views, and, that's just a smidge of what I got, but the general consensus was unfortunately the same. We know young players that didn't shine when on loan with Sheffield United that have gone on to greater heights. Ethan Ampadu, the first, and I think good example there. When it comes to a 𝗬𝗲𝗲𝗹 fan, Jeff on Twitter said, pretty average. He played nearly every game he was available, but never really stood out. He's decent technically and has a burst of speed in his arsenal, but he rarely ever seemed to use it. I doubt he will get to Prem level. Now, he is an England youth international. He won the UEFA European Under-19 Championship with the Under-19 team in 2022. 13 caps and 2 goals for England Under-20s. Not bad. He joined Tottenham Hotspur from the youth system of Wigan Athletic for 300,000 in July 2020 and actually made his senior debut for Spurs in January 2021. Now, if you look at his Wikipedia, you'll see a section about his style of play, and the Alfie Devine style of play, actually, this is encouraging, much more encouraging than anything I've sort of said so far. So Devine is an attacking midfielder with excellent technical skills, such as dribbling and close control. He has good set-piece skills and can finish with both feet. Now, he was managed at Tottenham at one time by Jose Mourinho, and he said he has an instinct to appear in finishing zones and to score goals. Not quite sure he's proved that at a slightly higher level than the youth level with Tottenham. Jake Standerland on our website, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 minded midfielder. Featured heavily for 𝗍𝗍𝐵𝐶 Westerlo in the Belgian Pro League last campaign, starting 22 times, 8 sub-appearances, netted 6 goals, and provided an assist. Now, he has suffered 2 hamstring injuries in his early career. I always worry about that with pacey players, something to watch for. Not a dirty player, but he has been sent off twice, once in Premier League 2 and once in the Championship for Plymouth. That, though, was a second yellow. If you look at the positions he's played, he is an attacking midfielder to all intensive purposes. He's played behind either a front 1, front 2 in a 10. 73 appearances as an attacking midfielder, 16 goals, 8 assists. Those are fantastic numbers, but I must caveat this. These to bolster the amount of positions he's played in, I did have to actually include a lot of youth performances as well. Central midfield, he's played 33 times, 9 goals, 3 assists. Left midfield, he's played 5 times, 3 goals, 1 assist. He's played as a centre forward 3 times, a left winger twice, getting an assist, defensive midfield twice, and he's played as a second striker once. Alfie Devine, Ashley Phillips. Just some of the thoughts, some of the stats, and some of the facts and opinion. As always, much more interested to know what you think, Blades. 𝗚𝗿𝗶𝗴𝗍